And we are live. There we go. Welcome to Daily Devotions with me, Stephen Jetlin, your pastor of the Northwoods, as well as pastor of Family Worship Center. It's a Monday. Got to get the coffee. And for those that are wondering if it's Mountain Dew, no, it's coffee. I drink a lot of Mountain Dew in my life, and I used to always put Mountain Dew in coffee cups to look normal. Either way. All right, got my coffee warming up. We're here. We're ready. We're going. Valentine's week. Valentine's Day's on Friday. And so I figured, hey, let's start out devotions with a passage from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. The what is also known as the love chapter on love. But we're not... I'm going to collect the full chapter here in a moment, but I really just kind of want to look at these first couple verses because it kind of sets up what comes after. Excuse me. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. The first couple verses here for our devotion is, I think, quite plainly and very simply telling us our motivation. Like, honestly, it's going over your life motivation is really, I guess, the best way I can put it. What motivates you in your actions? Because what we're seeing here is that it's not necessarily the action, what we do, rather the character behind it. If you've gone through my daily devotions before, you'll see a very recurring theme, and it's not because I invented it. I didn't invent this theme, okay? I find that it's just so blatantly obvious in Scripture. It is that Jesus, God, they are so concerned with the character of their creation, not the actions in which they do, because we can do actions with our character not being in alignment. So you can have a good action, but if your character is not in alignment, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't gain you nothing, nor does it lead to you being a witness for the kingdom in the long run. And so this is where we're at, right? Because we have a list of things that are inherently good, like faith to move mountains, the ability to prophesy and understand mysteries and knowledge, the speaking in tongues of men and angels, working hard, giving to the poor. All things are just like, oh man, check. I do all. Woohoo! We're sailing. I love these things, right? But 1 Corinthians 13 is trying to say, hey, congratulations, you did those good things, and I'm sure God can use those things for the good of His kingdom. But He's trying to zero in on the singular person that says, hey, if your motivation for anything, not just bad things or good things, however we humans decide them, because we have our own sense of justice and stuff. 1 Corinthians is sitting here, he's like, hey, what you're doing is not as important as the motivation behind it. Do you have love in your heart? That's the question. Are you doing these things out of a genuine love for either the people that you're serving, the group you're in, the people you're leading, your family, your wife, or your husband, or fill in the blank of who you're serving and your good deeds or whatever it is. What's the motivation? Is it to boast? Right? Is it to boast so that you're making sure that your reputation is the highest of all time, and that everyone else can brag about you in their private conversations? Is it, and you mean, honestly, when it comes to, I think a lot of these things, when we are, when we're doing good deeds, and the Bible calls us, and encourage us to do good deeds, not for salvation. Salvation comes through faith in Jesus Christ. But when we have faith in Jesus Christ, we're inspired to do good deeds. You get that? Okay? Prophesying, knowledge, mysteries, faith to move mountains, and not love. I think it's the I am nothing part here. I really think we're dealing with a seed of pride when our motivation is not in alignment with love. Okay? And I think we need to understand that as believers, that our motivation for why we do things needs to be in alignment. So much so that if you come to the realization, like, man, I kind of have been about me, that I've been doing these things to push me up higher, I would say literally pause those good deeds to get your motivation in alignment and then resume them. Like, seriously, that's how important this is. And to help you, and this is why I clicked the full chapter, to help you, what does love look like, and how can we align ourselves with that? Well, that's where we have verses 4 through, 8, right? And so now we have the description of what love is. And so now we have that meter, that metric that we can apply our lives to and go, love is patient. Ooh, I'm not a patient person. There, now you understand. It's like, okay, now we are in knowledge and are no longer in ignorance or in ignoring. Sometimes we ignore problems. Come on, we've done it. Be like, okay, I need to be more patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Always protects. Always trusts. Always hopes. Always perseveres. Love never fails. So you see this really quick. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom, 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 boom. Of what love looks like, and now you have what it looks like to apply to your life to get your motivation for why you're doing things correct. I don't want a single Christian to give money to a church if their motivation is because they don't like the other churches. It should be out of a sense of love, that you're in love with the organization, fellowship of your believers, and you want to see and uplift it. You believe in the church's mission and what they're doing. Like, you can see that the church is good stewards of the funds, and that they are doing outreach for their community, and they're supporting missionaries. Like, you need to apply the motivation of self and good deeds to even churches. Look at a church's motivation for what they do. We need to have, and this applies to everything, we need to make sure our motivation for why we're doing things is love, because then from the outpouring of that, you're going to have Christians that are patient, kind, not envious, not prideful, right? They're not easy to anger. They're not self-seeking. And that will absolutely be an incredible witness. It will. It'll just absolutely change people's mind. You have to understand that for a lot of the world, how the church has acted in its church history, how Christians act in present day and in past, has completely turned off entire generations of potential believers. And it's because our motivations were out of whack. Recognize what we're responsible for, right? And how we can move forward and fix it. I think this scripture is just so powerful. And I think a lot of it does get missed a little bit because of the I'm going to use the word cute. It's a very cute scripture. because we're in the Valentine's. Oh, love is. Oh my gosh, love is patient. It's so kind. Oh, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. You're like, oh, but like, understand what's happening here. This first part of the scripture is setting up the context for the cute part that we all love to read. Love never fails. What, did you see that? You know, see what it is. This is an absolute a slap in the face almost to the believer, that you need your motivation for why you're doing things correct. It needs to be correct. It needs to be out of love. And for those that are like, how do I do that? Then you get the list. And so this list stops being a cute little one-off couple verses and starts to be a bona fide blueprint for the believer in their lives. And if you see verse 8, if we apply this correctly in our lives, love never fails. Love never fails. You know why? Here, one sec. You know why? I'm pulling up another scripture quick. Do you know why love never fails? Let's see here. Pulling this up quick. Let's pull this over. Boom. John 13:35. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. Do you want to be a witness for Christ? Do you want to be a witness for Christ? And if the answer is yes, then you need, this isn't a wanting or a should or a could, you need to get the reason for why you're doing things to be love. That like, I do this because I love them. It's why Jesus did it, and it's why we should do it. So there you go. 1 Corinthians, verses 1 through 3. Very powerful portion of Scripture, and I'm glad you joined me today on Daily Devotions with me, your pastor of the Northwoods, Stephen Jetlin. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next video.